Hello all, welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hope you guys are having a great day. It's New Year's Eve. 2019 is upon us, and I hope you guys are going to have a great time tonight. Be safe out there. If you're going to go out there and drink like a lot of the folks, utilize Uber, utilize any designated driver, Lyft, the whole nine. Utilize anything. Do not get caught with a DUI. It's not worth it. Don't endanger your life and don't endanger the lives of others. So that's my little spill on that. Anyways, we'll get into today's subject matter, and I'll be talking about a book that I just finished reading. I know this is like my second video, and everybody's probably like, you just keep making videos about books, but hey, I'm a reader, so I'm going to talk about what I do. History of the Black Dollar. Now, I first heard about these young ladies, especially Angela Rich, on The Breakfast Club. And this book definitely talks about not only the history of the black dollar, but how the black dollar is really utilized in today's society, not only just in the United States of America, but throughout the world. So it's a great book. I have so much to say about it. I don't even have enough time to talk about how great this book is and all the great knowledge that I learned from this book, but I will get into a little bit of a couple different one-on-one aspects of it, because obviously I want you to go get it for yourself and see if you'll enjoy it. So the writers of this book, known as The History of the Black Dollar, was written by Washington, D.C.'s own, which is up the road from where I grew up at in Woodbridge, Virginia, Washington, D.C.'s finest, Angela Rich. This young lady, she's phenomenal. Forbes magazine even considers her to be the next new Steve Jobs in regards to the app creation that she was able to create within a 2-week time frame. It's amazing what she's got going on, and I'm sure she's going to continuously grow her business brands and do great things. And basically, she's considered the new wave of what young African Americans are going to be doing. It's like a lot of young Americans, period, are doing as far as how to make money, not just going to college and getting a job. She's doing it totally differently. She's an entrepreneur, and I'm sure she's going to continue to do great things. Keep up the good work, Angela. You make us all proud. I'll leave it at that. And then obviously the book was forwarded by another individual known as Dr. Myra Rockamore, and she is a phenomenal person at the same time. She is the CEO of the Center for Global Policy Solutions. And now back to Angela, because really she's the main reason why I know about the books. I'm going to talk about her a little bit more. Her app, which is known as a Credit Stacker, is considered to be a fun and engaging, easy to use app. And because government agencies and advertisers pay the Credit Stacker app, they pay for it essentially. It's available and people utilize it for free in 40 countries, and it's available in 4 different languages. So I think that's an awesome thing. And like I said, according to recent articles, the app has been downloaded over 24,000 times. So that's great, especially given the fact that it hasn't even been out there that long and anyone can play it. So I think it's a great thing. Like I said, Angela, continue to go forward, do the great things. And now I'm going to get into the basis of the book. And it basically talks about an exuberant amount of economic moments in the history that have helped shape the United States of America. Most people know that the United States of America is one of the best, greatest countries in the world. And from this country, the economic prosperity came from indentured servants, slavery, sharecropping, convict leasing, and so on. And I can't speak for other countries, never have, because I can't even, the last time I think I left the United States, I was like a baby. So that's way overdue. I definitely take a trip overseas one day. But other countries, but the United States, anyone, especially a business, can get free, labor. If anyone, especially a business, can get free labor, let's be realistic about it. If you can get free labor, you're going to take advantage of it. And very cheap labor, then the profits, obviously, of that business will exceed those than the businesses that have to pay workers' wages or what's considered to be fair or high wages, So obviously, those businesses were very profitable, and this country was very profitable because of the free labor that it had, especially at such an exuberant amount, So it's crazy, but hey, it's true. It is what it is. So the book gets into the Little Rock Nine, which is a story I've read about multiple times as a child. Black Wall Street within New York City, Los Angeles, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Atlanta, Georgia, Durham, North Carolina, Houston, Texas, The list goes on and on. Excuse me. And it also talks about the Great Recession, which in my personal opinion is still relevant in today's world all at the same time, and it's going to be relevant for a long time because, depending on how the situation goes, the country might go into another recession, because we do reside in a boom and bust economy, so I leave it at that. But anyways, the book really aims to help older generations remember and enlighten the younger generations such as myself on the progression of America and also how African Americans have direct ties to it. The book talks about how lots of African Americans have always worked hard for their money in our community, and we have, but having it work for us isn't really something that's usually talked about or even really implemented on a regular basis like every other community. It's a common practice in all other communities within the United States to practice group economics and indulge in group economic discussions and talking about ways forward and ways to create new businesses and business plans and implement them, but in the African American community at huge numbers, it's not really utilized and circled around the masses of our community. It's just one of those things. And I always say, outside of your family and outside of your job and outside of paying bills, money's supposed to be your employee, even if you are just an employee. Everybody is the CEO of their own life, whether they know it or not. The book also talks about how President Lincoln and the Congress, after the Emancipation Proclamation was passed, helped create the first African American bank known as the Freedmen's Bank. And I'm not going to give too much detail because, it's a great book. You learn a little bit more about the Freedmen's Bank and its history. I think it's an awesome thing, and I think it obviously made sense at the time for them to even create it, since, a lot of, at that time, free slaves and enslaved black people, weren't really allowed to have a bank account. They, had to keep old school, keep all that cash stored away under the house, under the mattress. You know what I'm saying? Those old days. The history of the black dollar also talks about a lot of inventions that were created by African Americans, but a lot of them never received the credit for it. And I just thought that was actually interesting, to be honest with them. I'm just like, okay, well, because a lot of times people don't realize that even the cotton gin was created by that's one thing I'll let the cat out of the bag. If you didn't know, the cotton gin was actually created by an African American, because obviously a lot of slaves who worked on the plantation were trying to make life easier for themselves. And in conclusion, because I do not want to give away the whole book, but it talked about how so many black entrepreneurs that were available and successful during the time periods when there was no internet or technological opportunities like we have today. Hint, hint, knock on wood. From restaurants, hotels. A lot of African Americans, they own mechanic shops, nightclubs, cleaning companies, construction, landscaping, the whole nine. And from the late 1800s all the way up to the late 1960s, group economics was practiced in a big way throughout the black community. And not this Lone Ranger nonsense that we have going on today, because everybody still thinks that they can just get a job, go to college, get a job, and now I'm going to be nice and great and successful. And we all know for the most part that that's just BS, and it takes a village. Whether you hate that saying or not, it does take a village. It takes groups, because unless you're rich, it's going to be much harder for you to even become a successful entrepreneur. But that's just one guy's personal opinion. I'll leave it at that, because back then, after Emancipation Proclamation and all the way up to the 1960s and 70s, like I said, the culture in African American culture was just like you see in Hispanic culture, Middle Eastern culture, and Asian culture, and all other immigrant cultures. Sticking friends, family, people sticking together, making the dollar circulate around the community, talking business at the dinner table, not just talking about the nay and twerking and reality television and sports. Even if that is discussed, you go to other communities and you see that money is talked around the table and how it can be utilized and how it can be grown and put into different investments. That's what this book talks about, how that conversation needs to be brought into the African American community a lot more. So instead of just all this other crap that people see on regular television or whatnot, because I look at it as a distraction. But that's just my personal opinion. With a lack of group economics equals a lack of generational wealth, and with a lack of generational wealth, it means more children stepping out of high school and college at zero with $1 if they're lucky. So I'll leave it at that. And in conclusion, Happy New Year to all. Feliz Año Nuevo para todos mi gente. I hope you really enjoy the new year. I know I'm going to, and I'd say we're going to kick butt, and those that are really ready to do it, let's do it together. Group economics is the only way to go, and now y'all know, and it's time for me to go. Take it easy, y'all. Please subscribe if you liked the video, and I hope you guys have a great and safe New Year's. Happy New Year to all.